Hey, Javarius, I really appreciate you doing this today. And since there may be people watching this who don't know about Families as Allies, I'm Joy Hogge, and I'm the Executive Director of Families as Allies, and we're a statewide organization run by and for families of children who have behavioral health challenges. And one of the most exciting and fun things we get to do is train different types of students and interns. And we are just delighted that Javarius is here with us this semester as an intern from Jackson State. So we're just going to spend a little time chatting with you today, Javarius, and I think we will probably learn more from you than you have learned from us. But I appreciate you being willing to do this afternoon. And you want to just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
No problem. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually even be here. Once again, my name is Javarius Jones. I am a senior social work major from Jackson State. I really love that place. I am from Canton, Mississippi, but I do live in Jackson, so I am in the area with Families as Allies. A little bit about me. I don't really know much. I'm really a cool guy. I love my family. I love friends. I'm just really just one of those people that people just love to be around. Very, very exciting. Never a dull moment. Just living life, I guess. That's just all really about me.
Okay, well, I will say that we have all really grown very fond of you, and you are a lot of fun, Javarius. And one thing there's a lot of things about having trainees here that are really, that's really helpful to all of us and keeps our eyes fresh and helps us remember what we need to learn as an organization. So it always helps to just get the perspective of someone who's come in new. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that. One is, as you've done this work and gotten to know us, has there been anything about Families as Allies that surprised you?
Nothing really surprised me so far. What I really was like kind of shocked to hear was that when you guys had told me that most of the people that was working there, they have a child or somewhere, I guess, close in their families with a disability. And I thought that was very, very great because you guys all had the opportunity to actually work together and just find common goals within each other. And that just really, really amazing to me.
Well, I'm glad that meant a lot to you because that is what makes us unique is our shared lived experience as parents. So I'm glad that meant a lot to you. Is there anything in particular you've most enjoyed about the internship?
What I enjoyed the most, my favorite thing I just always like to tell people about this was when we had did the wraparound. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed a lot because I was had the opportunity to actually meet a lot of different people with some of the same mindsets and everything like that. And once you get to talk to these people, even one-on-one or even in smaller groups, you find out that a lot of people have a lot of things in common that you didn't even realize that you had in common with other people. So I really just enjoyed just meeting those new people. I love to meet new people. So I really enjoyed that the most since I've been here.
And I had forgotten you'd gotten to do that. So we have a training partnership with the Mississippi Wraparound Institute. So I think you attended one of their was it the training that lasts 3 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you attended their intro to wraparound training that we co-train with. And Karina, who works with us, was probably one of the co-trainers.
Yes,
and then Elizabeth. Well, that's great. That's great. I'm glad you had that opportunity. Now, you have been with us since January. And during February, we began this conversation about Black History Month and how we as an organization wanted to look at that. And it's very easy. And I'll say this to the white people out there. It's very easy as a white person to say, okay, well, we're going to do this, this, and this during Black History Month. And now we can check that off the list. We've observed Black History Month. And that's almost worse than doing nothing at all because it really, it doesn't bring us together. It doesn't force people like me to look through eyes that maybe I haven't ever looked through. So you were in on our conversations during February where we talked about how can we not just do Black History Month as an event, but really use this as a time to reflect and stop and think about what it should mean to honor Black history and how we should all change our perspectives to be more inclusive of that all year long. And what does that mean about how we do our work differently? So we did have different things like in our newsletter in February about that, like our board president, who's African American, talking about what it means to him to be a leader in the nonprofit world in that role and different things like that. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and get some of your thoughts from that perspective. And again, it can be really helpful because we can think we're doing things and then someone coming in with new eyes may see it differently. If you have any thoughts, just when you think about families as allies and what you've experienced here, about how we can be more culturally responsive in the community with trainees in our work, any thoughts along those lines?
Honestly, I think you guys are really doing great so far. Like I said, since I've been here, I just really never just felt like out of place or anything. You guys have welcomed me with open arms, and it just seemed like it wasn't a big. I wouldn't say it was just like a culture difference or anything like that. I came in strong. Everybody helped me. They guided me, and was trying to make me the best that I could be being here or whatever. And it just seemed like I said, it wasn't anything that you guys. I don't think that you guys can do differently as far as like being culturally responsible because it wasn't really like it wasn't nothing that just made me say, hey, this can be changed or that can be changed or anything like that. I think everything's going great so far.
Okay. Well, and I will say, as the executive director, that I commit this to you and to anybody else who's out there listening. That's an ongoing conversation we want to have. So as things unfold, if you notice things or if you have suggestions, we always want to hear those about being culturally responsive or any other thing we can do to, be a better partner and be more inclusive in the community. So it's also been nice for us. We we have trainees from different places, but our partnership with Jackson State goes way, way back. And it goes back before me. And I've been here about 10 years. And it's really been special to us just because that's such a long-standing relationship and the things we've gotten to do and the support we've gotten from JSU. And then that whole history of Jackson State being one of the historically Black colleges and universities. So I'm not asking you to speak for every young African-American man who's a student or anything like that. That would be disrespectful, and I'm not going to do that. But from the standpoint, you were talking about Jackson State and how much you love it, and I don't know if any of that's related to it being an HBCU, but just from that kind of broader context, if there was anything, I was just curious if there was anything you wanted to share with us about why JSU means a lot to you, anything about if any of it has to do with it being an HBCU, just to give us your thoughts along those lines.
No problem. So when I was in high school, I really just I think when I was a junior, that's when I started kind of trying to pay attention to what type of college I wanted to go to, what college I really wanted to go to. And at the time, like I said, I was a junior in high school then. I did really want to go to Mississippi State. That was actually one of my first choices of colleges or whatever. But I started to do a little more research. I started to talk to actually some of the teachers that was actually at my school. A lot of the teachers at my school actually went to Jackson State, so it was kind of easy for them to try to convince me to actually go there. But Jackson State came to my school one time. They did like one of those little college things, and it was just an amazing time. I actually toured it one time. Everything was just so nice. Everything was so amazing. It just seemed like I just fit right in. I think Jackson State was a school for me, socially and academically. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like it was just the place. It was like I belonged there. What I liked about Jackson State is most is that everybody just seemed like they just family. I think there's a lot of HBCUs as well, but I can't speak on a lot of HBCUs. I can only speak on mine. I love that place. It just seemed like everybody was always there to just help you. No one want to see you fail. No one want to see you alone. Everybody's just right there with each other. Like everybody got their back, and I just really love that about that school. So I recommend anybody to go to my HBCU. I love that place.
Well, that's good to hear. And then a bonus for us with you loving it so much is that you ended up doing your internship here as a JSU student. Can you think of anything else that I haven't asked you, either about your experience with Jackson State or your experience here, or just as a social work intern that you'd like to share?
Not really. Like I said, I really enjoy being here with you guys. Y'all are very, very great people. I love how y'all interact with each other, and communicate and everything like that. Everything. When we be joining these Zoom calls, it just seemed like I said, I never ever felt out of place in no perspective. I always just felt like I belong. Like even coming in new, never even doing anything like this. This is my first time actually doing an internship before. So it's just like, y'all made me feel comfortable. Y'all didn't make me feel like I was just gonna be, stuck. Even if y'all was having conversations that I really didn't even know much about, you always, as you would say, Javarius. I know this may be a little confusing with to you, but you always try to bring me back in and try to give me a good understanding of what's really going on. I really do appreciate that.
Well, we are glad you're part of us, and we really are committed to the idea that anyone who wants to be part of us is part of us, and it may be that person who's been part of us for 3 seconds or 20 years who will have at any given point the information or the ideas we most need to hear. So we're very glad you're part of us, and thank you for doing this interview today,
Well,
Javarius.
thank you. Thank you.